So we've come to the end of CABSAT 2023. And for the first time this year, the show has been co-located with the inaugural Integrate Middle East exhibition. Si, you've been coming over here for CABSAT shows for a number of years. How does it compare?
Yeah, you're right. I think this is probably my fifth CABSAT. I think I first came in 2016, actually. It's been quite different. We have had Integrate, which has definitely spiced things up a bit. But okay, let's focus on CABSAT for a second. It's the tried and tested broadcast show in the region. Everybody knows what to expect, what to get. There's nothing revolutionary here. It doesn't change dramatically each year. But those people that like it, they really like it because they get good leads. The vast majority of the main broadcasters are here. So it's perfect for them. Interestingly, it will be the 30-year anniversary next year. Well, let's face it, for a local show, that's quite an achievement, isn't it? I mean,
oh, definitely. And I mean, I would say, I've been coming for a number of years and I've seen exhibitions such as Palm, Infocom, Middle East, Pro Light and Sound, all try to establish themselves here with a foothold, and they've not been able to sustain it. So for CABSAT to be celebrating 30 years is definitely an achievement, and good on them.
But then Integrate, so now they're trying, first time this year. Will they be another Infocom, Pro Light and Sound, or will they last?
I think we'd agree we came with not particularly high expectations, did we, having looked at the floor plan and that kind of thing. But no, definitely pleasantly surprised. And as you say, footfall throughout all 3 days has been good, I believe.
The footprint of Integrate is quite small. We've got the back curtain just behind us here. Yeah. The hope is that with a good 12 months of preparation and planning, that 2024 could be a really good show. And I'm hopeful that it will be, actually. Beyond the exhibitors, all of the other companies in the local region have been wandering the floor, scouting it out.
That's been funny, hasn't it? Bumping into them.
Yeah. If we can get everybody on board next year, I think it could be really good.
Going back to day one, though, I think it's probably worth mentioning, like any show on the first outing, there were a few teething problems, I'd say, weren't there, getting in?
The badge collections in particular. So they've got this kind of fancy electronic entryway system that you have to scan QR codes off your phone. Well, you can imagine how that went with people fiddling about for 5 minutes to try and get through the gates.
But it was exhibitors trying to get in, wasn't
it?
That was a real issue
when
when the show was about to start. But, I think those kind of niggles, and again, as you were saying, if they didn't have a long lead time, the organisers for this event, so I think with that full 12 months, wind behind them, I think you're going to be able to see a lot of those issues ironed out, I would hope.
I think so. To be frankly honest, I can't believe how well they've turned the show around, considering a couple of months ago there were a lot of questions over who would be here, what companies. I remember speaking to people locally who didn't even know that the show was going to be going on just a month or two later.
But you got the impression from talking to some of the exhibitors that there is a high level of quality visitor coming through the doors.
Yeah, and increasingly year on year. Yeah, most definitely. Interestingly, a couple of the Integrate exhibitors actually originally wanted to be in CABSAT but couldn't book a space because there was no floor space left. So it will be interesting again to see how that develops next year. I was slightly concerned on day one that the fact that there was no demarcation whatsoever between the three CABSAT halls at the back end of this.
No different colour carpet or anything like that?
No differentiation. So would that work in its favour or against? Most people seem positive again. Plenty of the CABSAT kind of attendees have made their way up to the Integrate booths and around, and they probably didn't know that it was even a different show, to be perfectly honest.
So, to sum up, what are your feelings?
Generally very positive, and I think people even more hopeful for next year's edition. The dates for next year have already been announced, of the 21st to the 23rd, so just a week later than this year. Selfishly, provided that the Saudi Sound and Light show taking place in Riyadh in just over a week stays in the same slot, I'll be able to travel more easily between them. But I think generally, really, CABSAT exhibitors would love the show to return back to March, where it used to be, in its familiar position. So, again, we'll just have to see how next year goes.